2018 was wild. Spider-Man was a game I got so obsessed with I platinumed the game in 3 days. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Previous to this game, the only Spider-Man games I really enjoyed were the PlayStation 1 release in 2000 and the one based on the first Raimi film released in 2002. So, 16 years was too long. Too long that I had been begging for a smooth web-slinging experience with memorable fights against classic villains, and Insomniac Games absolutely hit the nail on the head for what I was looking for. I got so caught up having fun just web-slinging around the city that I hardly ever used the fast travel option. It was kind of a short game, but I think they did an excellent job world building for other possible releases. You get plenty of costumes, there's awesome collectibles, and I was a big fan of Yuri Lowenthal as our boy Pete. Tons of effort and love was put into this game, and I'm so appreciative of that. Spider-Man gets my bronze medal on the year. Dragon Quest XI is admittedly the first Dragon Quest game I've ever played. It's a series I've always been heavily interested in playing, just never got around to it. And this game blew my mind. The storylines are incredibly thought out and intriguing, and there are twists and turns as the game continuously keeps you guessing. I even snagged a handful of ideas for the Dungeons and Dragons campaign I run. The game's length is Persona 5 levels of long, it's visually breathtaking, and you should expect no less as the artist is Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball. The characters are fantastic, and you even have varying options for how you can build them to differ in comparison with your friends that should also be playing this game. It's no Final Fantasy X Sphere Grid, but it's still pretty nice. Ni no Kuni 2 was a great game that also came out this year, but Dragon Quest XI beat it in nearly every category for me. Also, Serena is the best character, don't message me. I give Dragon Quest XI my silver medal. My game of the year, getting the gold medal, is without a doubt Red Dead Redemption 2. Knowing it's a prequel with a new main character had me a little worried because John Marston was so fucking cool, but Arthur Morgan so quickly became my favorite Rockstar Games main character, as well as my favorite character in video games from this year. This game is overflowing with character development. More than half of my time with the game was spent hunting, fishing, gambling, and just building the type of Arthur Morgan I wanted to be. Nothing made me feel like I needed to hurry to progress the story, and I was able to take my time and enjoy it the way I wanted to. You'll have so many missions just bonding with members of your camp, which can and will absolutely hit hard when they die, leave, betray you, or change. In my opinion, it couldn't be any more different from Grand Theft Auto, and that's a good thing. I didn't want Grand Theft Yeehaw, and it's disappointing so many people did. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. I will hold this game close to my heart for a very, very long time. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Valkyria Chronicles 4 and God of War as well. I haven't put enough time in Valkyria to talk about it that heavily, but I really love it so far. And I completed God of War and enjoyed it a lot, but I never played the others, and I don't really plan to, so I figured I didn't have enough knowledge on the series as a whole to be able to talk about it with any kind of solidity. I figured I would just throw my top 3 albums in here. I'm extremely passionate about music, but I'm far from a music reviewer or a musical genius, so here you go. Number 3 with the bronze medal is Snail Mail's Lush. Number 2 with the silver medal is Superorganism's self-titled album. And number 1 with the gold medal is Travis Scott's Astroworld. On to movies. Overlord was a movie that hit me out of nowhere, and it was a pleasant surprise. Saving Private Ryan meets Resident Evil is the best way I can describe this wonderful film. I can always get behind genre mashups because it usually means I'm going into something fairly new and fresh, and this was no exception. From the very first scene, I was at the edge of my seat wondering what was going to happen next, how they were going to handle certain situations, who was going to die, and it was executed beautifully. The effects were good, the characters were really likable, it wasn't overly reliant on jump scares, and it still had some pretty good action. This film has it all, but it's still gonna get the bronze medal. Bad Times at the El Royale was a movie that immediately pulled me in by the cast. I'm a big fan of Jon Hamm, and throwing in Chris Hemsworth and Jeff Bridges made it even better. The camera work ended up being my favorite thing about the film. Constant symbolism stacked with beautiful symmetry. The mystery of not knowing what kind of movie I was going into even after watching the trailer added quite a bit of excitement for me as well. This film has no clear main character and hops between the viewpoints of its various characters as the story unfolds, sometimes backtracking to show certain events from someone else's perspective. Highly recommend this film. Silver medal on the year. It feels so bad leaving out all these awesome movies out of the top 3, so big shout out to Isle of Dogs, Sorry to Bother You, and Black Klansman. All 3 are in my must-watch category despite not receiving a medal. Onto the gold. Into the Spider-Verse was the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made, hands down, and I knew it would be. I was a big fan of Miles Morales as soon as I heard the inspiration from the character was Donald Glover, one of my all-time favorite artists. I work in a movie theater in a small town, and to see we had less than 10 people on the opening day hurt. I know animation is a hard thing for some people to take seriously, but I didn't expect less than 10 people. Thankfully, it seems the overall numbers were pretty good. You can practically feel how much heart was put into every single frame on this film. The soundtrack is magnificent, the animation is incredible, the story hit like a ton of bricks and had an awesome lesson by the end of it. The Spider-Verse as a whole is a big hit in Marvel Comics, and even though we didn't see all it has to offer, this couldn't have been a better place to start. I could not recommend this movie more. 10 out of 10, gold medal, go watch this movie. Thanks for watching, guys. It was really tough weighing out all of the things from this year, but I'm confident in my choices. Please keep in mind that there are still plenty of things I didn't get around to seeing, playing, or listening to, and that these were all my personal opinion. Hit me with your favorites and let's talk about them. Like and subscribe, and have an awesome new year. See ya.